Hi guys, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts about how to play the first few minutes of the early laning phase as a bot laner, especially in a team environment when perhaps you're playing flex 5v5s with your friends. I think this is a good exercise of thought about how you might want to think about things. And here's how I go about things. So the first thing that ever happens in laning phase, most of the time, is that the support and ADC will go leash for the jungler. Right? Most games are like this. Sometimes if you get the push advantage with like going out and being able to push the lane before the bot laner of the enemy team comes down, that's fine. That happens once in a while, but let's assume for this exercise that the junglers both need leashes and they're both on bot side. And while some junglers are capable of ganking level 2, we'll say something like Jarvan's capable of ganking level 2, Vi, Zac. Let's exclude this for now. This is an anomaly that you will have to deal as time goes on, and be aware of this fact when you're playing against these junglers. But most of the time, if you're playing against something that isn't oppressive in the early game, like Nidalee could gank level 2, it won't be that effective, but most likely Nidalee would like to farm. And assume that both your jungler and the enemy jungler go path topside. So what do? What are your options as a bot laner in this situation? Well, you could go for what is called as a cheetah recall. And to set up for the cheetah recall, I prefer to do a level 2 power spike. It's a very common theory where if you hit level 2 before your opponent, you want to go all in because you have the level advantage, you have the skills advantage, you have the base stats advantage, you have a lot of advantages that come with this. And it's a very good tool to get maybe a flash, a heal, maybe just even pressure in the lane so that you can start pushing. And what a cheetah recall is, and how this leads up to it, is that you would want to crash the third or fourth wave into the tower of the enemy. And why would you want to do that? Well, let's provide the situation. You have more minions than the enemy because you killed their minions first, right? So let me just draw their minions, the arrows being casters, and the circles being melee minions. And let's say you've killed one of them off. In this wave state, this is pushing towards them, albeit that you're matching all their auto attacks with an auto attack of your own. It's very, very important that if you want to keep a pushing wave, that both you and your support need to be pushing at the same rate as the enemy in order to keep this wave pushing. So, let's say that you're able to push this wave, and they have a huge minion wave here. This is when you want to recall. And what time do you want this to be at? So, the third wave, where you can want to first do your cheetah recall, will arrive around 240, and will arrive here at 240. So if you can push this in within the right timing, and push it in right as it arrives, you'll be able to recall at around 250, get back to base at 3. And when you come back to lane, you can either path up to here to get scuttle cap control with your jungler, or what you'll find is that since this wave has pushed all the way here, it will bounce back and you will arrive right here so that you can freeze it. So those are your two big options in the early game. If you freeze it, this is a great opportunity to starve them of CS, starve them of XP, get some minions killed for them so that they cannot access it. Or, since you have the level advantage, not level advantage, you would have the item advantage, you could just go for a fight with your jungler, because this will be a bad position if they try to break the freeze. This is a good time to call your jungler to get them to gank, because at this point, you will be trying to CS here. The support and ADC will be in the middle of the lane. Perfect time for a jungler to gank. Or you can call your support to help out the jungler, and then farm under turret and take the crash into the wave and rebounds this, right? And obviously this would create a pushing wave here, but it's just one of the options that you have in the early game when you're playing as a bot laner. There are a couple of variations of these, like for example, you could, if that mid lane is getting pushed in, and you have the ADC has a good freeze right here, and support its ADC is backed because they don't want to fight the ADC because they don't know where the support is. There's no vision in these bushes. Support can roam up, right? And the jungler and support, if they're both down here, have the option of going into the enemy jungle at this time, because mind you, this would be around let's say 310, 320, first scuttle is up, and some of these camps will start coming up. If they went into blue into Gromp might be spawning soon, and so will wolves, right? So you can start counter jungling. And these are just some of the things that you can do as a bot laner and ADC support duo. And I would also like to cover one last topic that I find a lot of less experienced bot laners do. For example, if the support and ADC are, for both teams, for blue and red side, are both like right here, and there's a pushing wave like this. It's going there, it's pushing, and then the wave ends up at this location. And the support wants to get a deep ward in. That's fine. This is a fine spot. This is pushing, right? But why is it something that's dangerous? The reason why is it's a pushing wave, right? The blue minions will kill the red minions. Kill the red minions faster than the red minions can kill the blue minions. If the support roams up to try to get a ward, maybe right here, you put this ADC in danger. And you put it in danger of being 1v2'd by the enemy bot lane. So what does the situation provide? What can you do? Your options: support pushes in with the ADC so that the wave crashes. ADC backs, support puts ward, maybe goes up to mid, helps the jungler, has a roam timing and comes back into lane when ADC comes back from recalling. That's one option. Another option, ADC and support can do their duo thing, get some vision here. Maybe these camps might be up soon. You can maybe counter jungle, get some deep vision, and know where the jungler is. That's an option. And what you would want to avoid is that you want to avoid the situation where you're giving the ADC a very bad option. You're giving you want the ADC to either give up XP in this situation because you want to go ward, or risk being 2v1'd. And that's both not ideal because this risk could be high. Like if you're in a perhaps safer lane, maybe like you're playing Tristana against a Soraka Caitlyn, I don't think there's gonna be much kill pressure, right? And this might be a fine play in this situation. So overall, use your judgment. You should be able to decipher these situations and evaluate them on your own. But for me, this is how I think about these situations. I find them very helpful to share my thoughts. And I hope you just comment what you think about this and tell me what I could improve on, because I'm here just to learn. And until next time, thank you for watching. Yeah, and I will see you next time.